Hey, how's it going, everyone? I've had my M1060C for about 3 months now, and I'm finally ready to kind of give a quick review of it. Now, I liked it so much, I bought a M1070 open back as well. So, I guess since I have it, I had this for like 2 months, or actually, yeah, about 2 months now. I guess I'll compare these. The M1060C is, well, you see my sundial right there, and I love that. But if you ask me to choose right now, I think I'll choose the M1060C as my favorite headphone. Now, just quickly going over it, it has like this metal frame, and the clips on them that clips onto the headphone cups, they feel really cheap. And although they're sturdy enough, look at this part. You see that? See the scratches? Yeah, that happens, and you see how loose that gets? That little screw needs to be tightened like weekly. So other than that, it's pretty comfortable. Weight wise, I know that these are probably one of the heaviest headphones you can buy. These are like 580 grams or something, 560 grams, but they also feel like 560 grams because the cups are really far, the weight is really far away from your ears, so that when you put it on and you turn and you make these slight adjustments, it kind of doesn't move with you, so you kind of feel the weight really far away, and yeah, it feels like little dumbbells on your ears. But through time, I've gotten pretty comfortable with these, and I added this little wrap, and that's enough for me for now. Although the M1070 is even heavier, these are supposed to be like 600 grams or over 600 grams, like 1.3 pounds basically. They don't feel like that. In fact, they feel like much lighter. They feel like 400 grams because they're really well balanced. And these are plastic, by the way. The cups are plastic. Although the grill is metal, the cups are plastic. And it's more sturdy than the M1060C. So, once I put this on, you can move around, and it'll stay with you. It's so comfortable. Nothing to complain about this. Other than this part. You hear that? That's all. It's a little wiggly sounds. But yeah, this is much better build quality. And yes, you could bend the metal. So, and I do bend the metal. So, and they provide just enough of compression on your ears. Like, they're very loose, but apparently my head is like this. So, just when I put it on, it's like this, and it's the perfect amount of pressure. So, yeah, let's talk about sound. Let's talk about while we're all here. So both of these are probably very dark headphones compared to the Sandaras. 1060C's most exciting part. It's the planar bass. It's so good. Okay, let's go to a song. I think Subtronics. Yeah. The string theory. Oh my god. You hear that?
Daddy, chill.
Wow. There's so much mid-bass impact on these. These definitely hit harder than the 1070s because the 1060C is a V-shaped. So you get pronounced bass with a slightly dip in the vocals. And because it's planar, it's very fast and agile. You get this really nice timbre on strings and guitars. And it's so pronounced in electronic music. String Theory by Subtronics, favorite album. You definitely get sub bass as well, but it's not enveloping yet. It has a lot of sub bass and mid bass, so much so that it gives you the details of a pluck of a guitar string, and it makes songs like normal rock songs sound really fun this way. And because it's a planar, all the transients are really fast. What does recessed vocals sound like? Let's go to Adele. I drink wine. Right, just to give you a little taste. See, it's although it's supposed to have like this recessed vocals, it's not all the vocals that are recessed. So some songs, like Adele, mainly with really darker voices, they don't sound recessed at all. They sound perfect. They sound smooth. It's full-bodied. Now, I've opened them up. They do sound amazing. You bring up the vocals, and it seems like you lose a little bit of texture in the bass, but that's probably because I don't have the grills, the modded grills that needs to go onto them. Yeah, so definitely fully modded review of this probably will come in the near future. Let's talk about EQ, right? What does the M1060C kind of miss, right? You're not getting the sparkly trebles or the super high trebles like the Sundara. If you well, I listen to them with EQ, although it doesn't work on Tidal. This is the EQ I use. You have to excuse my voice. I have a little flu going on, so the voice is darker as well. But that's my 1060C EQ, and that's for when I'm listening on YouTube. And all I'm doing is just giving the the treble slightly higher extension. That's all. That's all I'm doing. Everything else, the bass, you're good. You could choose to bring on a little bit more mid bass just for fun, but that's about it. Just bringing on the trebles. Here I'm just really just making up for that little dip. You can't fully make up for it. Like the dip is a lot. It's like maybe 20 decibel dip. And for EQ, right, you can really only EQ maybe 5 to 6 decibels before things get really weird. Maybe there are better EQ softwares. Maybe let's compare them to the 1070. Open back, of course. Now I run them Hi-Fi ZEN DAC V2 through Schiit Asgard 3, alright? So these are on stock cables because the cables are great. Let's go for Okay. So right away with the M1070s, right? Well, I noticed that it's a lot more intimate. It's not a V shape, so the vocals are right there with you. And although it's not a V-shaped type of bass, because it's a planar bass, it's still very tight and hard-hitting type of bass. It's not going to hit, the mid bass is not going to hit as hard as the 1060C, right? But it still hits pretty hard, okay? Just not the hardest hitting bass. There's more texture. You can hear more texture in her voice when she takes in the breath, or when she draws a certain sound prolonged. You can hear that. Now, how does the bass sound, right? Like, what if I play the same super bassy song that I'm into? Subtronics, right? Let's go back to this. Nitrous Mafia. Alright, so what happens with this is, well, because the mids are not recessed, right? You get more of the transients, where the song changes or mixes. You get a lot of the transients. You get more of it. The mid bass is slightly, well, actually it's a lot softer hitting. But there's something special that the M1070 does that the M1060C cannot achieve, right? Why did I get the M1070? On some songs, you can begin to get this holographic qualities. You kind of get these because there's so much bass, right? And when the soundstage is wide enough, you get a lot of sub bass depth with this headphone. It just seems like it's coming around you. So I made just a small playlist. All right, let's go for it. So first things first, the timbre on these is very dark. This is a very dark sounding headphone, right? But once you get over that fact, you get this slightly enveloping sound. It's not really too far away from you. Maybe it's just right here, right next to your ears, but it kind of starts to envelop. And you get this idea that you're kind of in the middle of the music. Let me try something else. This is a Celtic Amora by Antoine Banan. Now, I think this song might have been made to have this type of quality or something, because it seems like the guitar plugs are on all the sides, or recorded binaurally at least, or something like that. So you sometimes hear it on this side, and then comes over this side, and sometimes it's on both sides. So it is this very enveloping sound. For some reason, even though if you look at the frequency response, even though the sub bass towards the mid bass, it's all flat, supposedly you get a bunch of sub bass as well, it doesn't have the enveloping qualities of the M1070 open back. And honestly, I think that's That's all they're good for. Because the timbre on these, if you don't EQ them, it's definitely too dark. It's very dark and it's not really that accurate or natural. The plucks of the guitars, you don't hear the high tingy sound of the plucks. You only hear the bassy tones of the end of the pluck. By the way, these came with leather pads, like really nice sheepskin leather pads, but with the leather pads it doesn't sound right. It's very closed off and very claustrophobic once you have the leather pad on. But yeah, the suede on these is amazing. I think you could probably use the suede pads from Decani for LCD2s and they'll fit these just right. Did you like the video you just watched? Well, there's some more to your left. And if you really liked it, give it a thumbs up. It will really support my channel. Thanks.